going on, Pure Pickers? My name is Alex, and today I'm going to break down a best bet that I have for Dana White's Contender Series. Now, for those of you who don't know what Dana White's Contender Series is, you can think of it as a promotion that allows up-and-coming fighters, usually from the regional scene, to showcase their skills in hopes of landing a contract in the UFC. So, you could think of it like if, someone lands a flashy knockout or a super sick submission, or even, just is able to showcase their skills in front of, Dana White, best believe that he or she will be able to land a contract in the UFC because a lot of the, current roster in the UFC, a lot of them are from Dana White Contender Series. So, it's a big pressure moment for these young fighters. They're all wanting to show out in hopes of, achieving their dreams of, being in the UFC. So it's a big moment for them. But before we break down the best bet that I have, let's just quickly go over yesterday's fight night between Tybura and Spivak, which by the way was insane. I can't believe I tuned in to watch that. I don't know what the UFC is doing, throwing out a card like that, but I guess they know that I'm addicted to this stuff and I'll continue to tune in. But that was a tough fight night to watch, to say the least. So overall in this event, we profited 1.05 units. Happy about the green. It's not a Giga Green night, but nonetheless, we are positive for this event. We had some good bets, we had some bad bets. I think overall, if you guys look at our bets, our main, I don't even want to say it's our main priority, but a big focus of ours is to limit our downside. So, every event at most, we're betting 10 units. We don't really let the units fly like that. I know other cappers out there, per bet, they'll do 3 unit bets as their standard size. Over here at Pure Picks, our main focus is, first and foremost, to be in the profit and with the added, benefit of limiting downside while also allowing ourselves the opportunity to have those huge Giga Green nights, especially when all of our picks hit, right? So you can kind of think of it like, it's boring, but the S&P 500, a mutual fund, any index fund, that type of thing where, we're kind of steady and up and to the right. That's kind of how we like to view our bets. So again, happy with our result, 1.05 units, although it's not the huge night that, we're always looking for. Glad we were able to make it out in the profit. So without further ado, let's get into the best bet that I have for Dana White's Contender Series. This week's best bet, it's going to be a tough one actually. Uh, it's going to be a dicey one. It's an underdog bet, and it's going to be Mikheil Sazhiniani versus Bruno Lopes. So I have Mikheil to win at plus 165. This one is definitely a very dicey bet. Just to break it down for you guys, this is Bruno Lopez's second appearance on Dana White's Contender Series. So last year, he made an appearance and he lost to Bredson Ribeiro, who has since then lost to 2 fights in the UFC. So in that fight, Bruno had a lot of trouble dealing with uh, Bredson Ribeiro's length, his reach specifically. The jab was getting through, and then the power shots were landing, and then eventually Bruno Lopes got put out. So if you look at Bruno Lopes as a fighter, he's pretty good. He has skills. Like he's gonna walk you down. He's a pressure fighter. He's gonna control the center. Good grappling. Can get submission victories. Um, like a powerful guy. Like he has knockout power. He has grappling upside as well. But the one thing that's bad about him, and if you just look at his record, he every fight he finishes his opponents very early, either in the first or second round. And if you rewatch the Brenson Ribeiro fight, he was getting gassed out, and that's what ultimately led him to getting knocked out. So in this fight for Mikheil, the reason I like him is because I'm banking on him to weather the storm, essentially. Um, Mikheil, he has power as well, not as much as Lopes, in my opinion. And Mikheil can also grapple. He has some grappling upside as well. But I just think that Mikheil is, I just have a feeling that Mikheil is going to be able to weather the storm, and he's going to need to do that in this fight. Um, it's definitely going to be a different fight than the Bretson Ribeiro fight, just because Ribeiro has an 81-inch reach advantage, whereas Mikheil is at 71. So, Mikhail's not going to be able to do that jab game as effectively as Ribeiro. And, just to talk about some negatives, like I'm not sure how Mikhail's going to fare under pressure. Um, if you watch the fight between Mikheil and Abdullah, it's on YouTube. Abdullah was pressuring Mikheil in the beginning, and he didn't do that well under that pressure. Like he kind of ducked his head to kind of like act like he was gonna grapple. So I didn't. He doesn't really use his feet to circle around the cage to get space. That's what I'd like to see from Mikhail, but that's not really what he does. He kind of likes to duck his head to initiate some grappling, which is kind of like a natural instinct, whenever someone's pressuring you. And then, on top of that, again, Mikhail 71-inch reach advantage. So jab will not really be there. So these are all, some knocks on Mikhail. On top of that, Mikhail's also been submitted, armbar, and he's been knocked out. Although the knockout happened a while ago. But again, at plus 165, I think it's going to be a dogfight. Mikhail, he can land, he has grappling, and I really just, if this fight goes past 2 minutes, I think you'll start to see Bruno Lopes really slow down and start gassing. If you're on the Bruno Lopes side, instead of paying his money line price, I prefer the under. That's about even money right now, minus 130. But, at plus 165, I think for a 50-50 fight, I think it's good value. I'm on the Mikhail side. And, that's going to be my breakdown. Hoping for and on Dana White Contender Series, thing is a lot of underdogs win actually, because again, these are regional fighters. So, anything can happen. Like these guys the skills aren't fully polished. I'll say that. So underdogs tend to do well. Hoping that's the case for this Mikhail and Bruno Lopes fight. But there you guys have it. That's my breakdown for the Dana White Contender Series fight on Tuesday. And, it's a little bit of a departure from, normal best bets that I do, for the big UFC events. But this upcoming one, UFC 305, I already locked in a best bet. And interestingly, the line has already moved for the parlay that I have. So, consider being a Pure Pick Pro member. Sign up. And I'll see you guys next week for another best bet. Peace out, y'all.